Hey guys, welcome back. In the last session, we have learned how to query the database using the customer ID and get the customer details. We have written a get mapping where you will be, you know, passing the customer ID and you will be getting the customer details. Now, in this session, what we will be doing is we will be creating the Docker image for the customer service. Yes, we will be creating a Docker image for the customer service and few more things actually I need to discuss over here actually. So as of now I have discussed the post mapping and get mapping. I'll be giving an assignment to you, like you can work on the put mapping and delete mapping as well. So if you have any doubts, let me know in the comment section. Okay, so now let me concentrate on this session actually. So in this session, what I said, like I'll be creating a Docker image for the customer service. Okay. Okay. So as I said, like we will be creating the customer service Docker image. So now how to create a Docker image? So what I need to do actually, normally, if you want to run any, Spring Boot application, how we will be doing that? We will be running the Spring Boot application from our main class, right? So from our main class, we'll be directly going to the main class and we'll be running as a Spring Boot application. Okay. So for creating the Docker image is quite different actually. So what you have to do is you have to pass some build commands to create a Docker image. So what are the build commands? What are the build commands we need to pass? Okay. So let's see. So if you want to create a, Docker image, you have to create a Maven configuration first. The Maven configuration will be for the Maven configuration, we need to set a goal. The goal should be Spring Boot build image. So this is the goal we need to set it actually. So based on this goal, the Maven will be creating a Docker image for us. Let's see. Let me go to the run and click on the edit configurations. So in the edit configurations, you can see, so this is the normal Spring Boot application. Now what I need to do? I need to create a new configuration. How to create a new configuration? I have to click on this plus symbol. So this plus symbol will ask you to choose the what type of configuration you want to create. I want to create a Maven based configuration. So let's click on the Maven. So once you click on the Maven by default will be reading the application name or the microservice name, and it will be copying to the in the name section. So our name is customer service now. So where it is running, in the local machine it is running. So what you want to do? So you have to specify in the run command actually. We want to build a Docker image. So for that, what I'll do is I'll be giving the build. I'll be giving the goal actually. So what is the goal? Spring Boot Spring Boot build make. You can see here. So this is the command. This is the goal we will be giving it. So with this goal, what it will be doing is it will be creating a new Docker image for us. Okay. So now the next thing, what? Working directory. So you have to choose the working directory. So currently we are pointing to the customer service. Okay. Because why it is pointing to the customer service only? We haven't done anything. By default, it is pointing to the customer service. So how it is happening like that? See, as you can see, my IntelliJ will be having only one project, which is customer service. So by default, it is pointing to the customer service. If I want to change the, working directory, so I'll be choosing the other working directory. Let's say, for example, I have customer service and I have account service as well. Then what I will do? If I want to work with account service, if I want to create a, Docker image for the account service, I'll be choosing the working directory as a account service. Okay. So you have to choose accordingly. Okay. So now profiles. As of now, we won't be discussing, like you don't need to concentrate on profiles. Later, we will be discussing on the profiles. Next, we have a Maven options. By default, we will be, as we have the Maven installed in our systems. So we don't need to provide the Maven. So by default, it will be taking the Maven and the Java detail size actually. Okay. So now once it is done, so you have to click on apply and click on run command. So now this will be running a build to create the Docker image. So here it will be running a build to create a Docker image. See here, building the image. Okay. So now you can see here. So it is a building a Docker image. It is building a Docker image. For that, it will be pulling the image actually. So for me, it is 100%. I have already I have pulled the base image prior to this actually. So that's why it is taking less time for me. If you're doing for first time, it will be taking more than 1 or 2 minutes actually. And one more thing, if you're working with a Docker, if you're creating a Docker image, you should be having a Docker installed actually in your system. So how to install Docker? So you can directly go to the Docker website. Okay. So just Google it, Docker install for Mac or Windows. So you will be able to get the installation, option. So you'll be able to get the installation file. You can install it. So I have covered this Docker installation and the respective file which is needed to run the Docker. Uh, I have a separate playlist for this actually. So you can go to that playlist and you can watch it how to create the Docker. So how to install the Docker. So now here you can see the build is getting succeeded and the image is generated and it is created and it is pushed to the Docker library. It is pushed to the Docker IO. Under that library, you will be having this customer service 0.0.1 snapshot. Now, let's go to we can check the image in two ways actually. So here we have pushed the image to the Docker library, right? To check whether the image is really pushed to the Docker library or not. So we have two ways. One is that you can directly come to the Docker desktop application. Here you can see that images option is there, right? Just click on the images option, just refresh it. So you'll be seeing a Docker image actually. You'll be seeing a Docker image. Once you see the Docker image, so you have to this is the one way of checking the Docker image actually. The other one is, so you have to open the command prompt. Okay. And you have to use the Docker commands to view the images which you have, created. Okay. So let's go to the command prompt. Let's use a command to get the Docker images. So open the command prompt using the window R. So window R will open the run button. So here you need to type CMD. CMD is for command prompter. Okay. So now the command prompt will be open. So here the command prompt is open. So now here what you have to do is you have to check Docker images. So in order to check the Docker images, you have a command called Docker images is the command we have. So these are the images we have. Okay. So these are the images we have. So this is the image latestly we have added actually. So customer service 0.0.1 hyphen snapshot. So now if I want to run this image, okay, if I want to run this image, so what I have to do, I have to use a command called docker run. And if I want to run this image on some port number, for example, let's say I want to run the image on the port number 8081. So I can write something like this, docker run and what port number? Port number. So if you want to give the port number, you have to use a option called -p. And you should be giving the port details. This is the application port and this is the container port. Okay, server port and this container port. So container port is 8081 only. And you have to give the Docker image details. Customer service is the Docker image and tag details. And you have to provide the tag details as well. Copy and paste it. So now when I click on enter, it will start running the Docker. It will start running the Spring Boot application. So not Docker. It will start running the Spring Boot application. So let's wait until the Spring Boot application starts. So we are getting some errors actually. What is this error? Okay, got it. The error is connection refused error. So why we are getting the error? See, normally in my Spring Boot application, I have configured in the application.properties, I have configured the URL details. I have configured the URL details as JDBC :mysql /localhost 3306 and the database name. Here, localhost, when you are installing the MySQL in your in your PC, so you'll be able to access this MySQL using the local host. Okay, because it is residing in your system only. So now we are creating the Docker image, and the Docker image, it is there in the Docker app. And if I want to access it, like let's say if I want to access it, the MySQL server, we should be creating an image. We don't have any image. So, but we have the images handy in the Docker. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll be giving the Docker host details. I'll say host dot docker dot internal host dot docker internal. So this is the database URL. Everything is same, but the only thing is that it will be changing this in place of local host, we will be giving the host dot docker dot internal. Okay. So we have given the host dot docker dot internal, and the port number, it is same, and the database would be the same. Okay. So now what I'll do is I'll be rebuilding the image now. So let's rebuild the image. Now to rebuild the image, again, click on this button, play button. Just click on the play button. It will be rebuilding the image. You can see the image building process is in progress actually. Okay. You can check. So these are the logs it is printing it. So once it is done, it will give build is success and image is saved to the Docker library. Okay. So here it is saving to the Docker library. Fine. It is saving to the Docker library. So now let's wait for the build success message. Oh, okay. So we got the success message. So build success message, we got it. Okay. So and the image creation is done, and the image is stored into the Docker library. Okay. So now again go to the command prompt. Okay. Now this time close this command prompt. Now what I'll do is I'll again check for the Docker images. So I'll be using a Docker images command. Docker images command to check the list of Docker images. I have the Docker image customer service, and the tag name is 0.0.1 snapshot. So let's run this Docker image. Docker run -p. I want to run on 8081 port number, and the container port is 8081. I want to transfer the request from container port 8081 to 8081, my server port number 8081. Okay. So now I'll be giving the image details. So what is my image? Customer service colon. I'll be giving the tag details. So I've given the tag details. Don't add any extra space. Okay. Give the tag details. So now once you are done with this, now you are good to run the Docker image. So once you run the Docker image, the Spring Boot application will be up and running now. Let's see. Let's wait. The Spring Boot application. Okay. Now it's started actually. You can see that customer service application is started in 9.33 seconds. And what port number it is started? It is started on port number 8081. Now let's go to our Postman. Let's try to access this application. So let's go to here. Okay. Let's go to my Postman. Now I want to querying to the MySQL database. Let's say, for example, I want to query the ID number 2. Okay, let's pass the ID number 2. So here I'll be getting the details actually. So if I pass 200, ID number 200, as the ID number 200, it is not exist in my database. So it will be throwing an exception. See, it is throwing an exception, internal server error. So this is the exception we are getting it actually. If I pass 1, so let's see, I'll be getting the details. The customer ID 1 details, I'll be getting it. So I hope this is fine. I think if you have any doubts, let me know in the comment section. I am done with the session. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe my videos. I am making a lot of effort actually to make the videos actually. So please do subscribe my videos. Thank you for watching.